Finishing a game is such a bittersweet moment for me. The feeling of completion is great. You've ended this epic journey, you've defeated the bad guy, you've saved the world, etc., etc. But then reality sets in as you realize, what do I do now? What game do I play next? If there's not a new game coming out, if there's not something that you're excited for, if you're someone like me who has a backlog of over 150 games because Humble Bundle exists and sales exist and I don't know how to not buy a game when I see that it's on sale for $20, I do have a problem. It can be so hard to pick a game to play. You get that choice paralysis, and I'm tired of it. I gotta be honest. I want to know what I want to play next. I've tried detailing my backlog. That's how I know it's so big. I track what games do I want to play, how long will they take to beat, and then I fall into that trap of, well, maybe I should just play a shorter game or not a super long game, I don't know. But then I find myself starting games and then not finishing them, getting bored because ultimately I didn't really want to play that game. It was just a game that I put on a list because lists are good. Not anymore. I'm taking control of my life, and I'm making a new list, but this list is short. Essentially, I've looked through my backlog, and I have decided I am just going to tell myself these are the games I want to play in the next year. I've picked one game for every month, because that feels semi-realistic, we'll see. And these are the games that I want to play. They're not games that are coming out, so this list may grow. I wanted to focus on games that I own, that I actually want to play. When I look at this list, these are all games that I know I want to play, I know I want to go through, and I want to make sure that I go through it. And on top of that, I'm probably going to want to make videos on them, so that's why I'm making this video. I want to throw out there that these are the games that I want to play and hopefully review as we look ahead to 2025. Black Friday 2024 is something I'm never going to be able to recover from financially. I bought a lot of games. There was a lot of good sales, and a lot of this list are games I bought on Black Friday, which actually helped make the list, in fairness. But no game is more prominent than Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Walmart sold this game for $30, so I had to buy it. I had not really been interested in Tears of the Kingdom. I have played Breath of the Wild. I did enjoy it, but I'm not a creative guy. I don't really like games that just sort of give you freedom and say, go do whatever you want. But man, $30. So that's the first game on the list. I know a lot of people, it's been a pretty contentious game from what I understand. I think it was well received, and now as time goes on, there's a lot of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom arguments, debates happening online. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. I'm excited to finally get to play it and see how it stacks up to the rest of the Zelda series. The next game on my list is Mass Effect 3, which may be surprising that I've never played this game, because Mass Effect 2 is one of my favorite games. I loved Mass Effect. I loved Mass Effect 1 when it came out. I bought it on release day for the 360. BioWare back then was one of, if not my favorite dev team, between Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, which I will still go to bat for, Dragon Age Origins. These were all core games for me back in the day. Mass Effect 2 was great. It iterated so well on the formula. And then I just never played Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 came out back when DLC was kind of a new thing, and release day DLC was starting to get popular, and everybody was mad because they put Prothean or whatever the heck DLC character behind a paywall, essentially, as day one DLC, and little me decided that, yes, I'm gonna be an activist or something, I don't know. I never bought Mass Effect 3. I never played Mass Effect 3, and to this day I haven't played Mass Effect 3. But that is all gonna change this year. I know the ending of the series was pretty contentious. I somehow have not been spoiled on it in the last 13 or however many years it's been since this game came out. I've been playing through, I do have the Legendary Collection for PC, so I've been playing through 1 and 2 remastered, and I'm excited to finally experience the end of this trilogy. Next up is another contentious game, that I also didn't play, again because I just never wanted to. It's The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 1 was pretty great, I liked it, but I'm not really a fan of stealth games and stealth combat games. So it was fun, I appreciate it for what it was, I really enjoyed the story of it. And then the second one came out, and that was kind of a big to-do. You may remember a lot of people saying it sucked and all this, and this one I did unfortunately get pretty well spoiled, but you know, whatever. You've got to experience it for yourself. I'm going to go into it as open-minded as I can. I know what they are trying to do, I think, with the narrative, and I do actually think it can be pretty effective. So I'm excited to see for myself, is this game really good? Is it really bad? Who's right? Who's wrong? I don't know. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, so we're all right. You know, you're all special and we're all correct and all that, but I am looking forward to finally playing this game. Armored Core 6. It's Elden Ring, but with mechs. What more do you need to say? Another game that I picked up on Black Friday for $20. Super excited to dive into it. I have never played an Armored Core game, but I do like From Software. They make a lot of really fun games, Souls games, and the like. So I'm excited to see how this one stacks up, how it's different, how they maybe do approach sort of a different genre of game that isn't just Souls games. After that, we've got 2 Persona games, Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica. Talking about 5 first, I really enjoyed Persona 5 and its spin-off sequel, Strikers, and I'm excited to see how they sort of morph the combat of the Persona games to fit the more turn-based tactical strategy of this genre. I thought they did a great job with Strikers of translating the combat from turn-based to action, so I think they've got another potentially really cool thing here. And it's a continuation of that story and those characters, so I'm really looking forward to it. Persona 3 Reload, I'm also excited to get into. I love Persona 3. I played Persona 3 Portable on my Vita back in the day, so I'm excited to see it realized in 3D with nice graphics and a lot of quality of life improvements from some of those older games. So all the games I've talked about so far, I would say I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm getting myself into. The rest of this list, I'm honestly not too sure. These are sort of different games or games that I haven't really had much experience with, but I still want to try because I've heard good things about them. So the first on this list is Sandland, which I guess is an anime. I'm honestly not sure. I think this is an anime game, but it looks cool. You drive a tank around the desert. Really, I bought this because of Akira Toriyama. I love his artwork. I love Dragon Ball Z. I'm a basic weeb, I guess would be the way to describe it. I don't really get too into all that stuff, but I do love me some Dragon Ball, so I'm excited to give this game a shot. I really don't know too much about it. I don't know anything about the anime that it's based on, but I like the art style, and the idea of driving a tank around and kind of blowing up other tanks sounded fun, so I bought it, and we'll see how it goes. Another Black Friday purchase. Next up is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Again, I've never played a Grand Blue game, but I've heard that this one's pretty fun. It's like an action RPG type game. That sounds cool. You jump around and do some slashing. I tried to sort of mix up my list a little bit as I was looking at the year ahead, from huge, like, tentpole kind of games and then some of these smaller RPG games, and this is definitely one of those smaller games. It's an action RPG, so in theory it'll be a nice change of pace after maybe like something like Persona 3 or Persona 5 Tactica. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Next up, we've got 2 Pokemon-like games. One of them actually is Pokemon, and the other is Dragon Quest Monsters. I picked this game up again, Black Friday, it was on sale. And it's Pokemon, but Dragon Quest. I love Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest XI was a great game. Dragon Quest 7 and 8 on the 3DS were great. Why not play that with Pokemon? I remember when Final Fantasy did something similar with the world of Final Fantasy. That was one of my favorite Pokemon-type games. I really enjoyed how they applied their RPG systems to the more traditional Pokemon monster-catching formula. So I'm interested to see what they do here with Dragon Quest Monsters as well. And then we have the real Pokemon game. For some reason, I bought Pokemon Violet. I have not played a Pokemon game. Genuinely, I did buy Let's Go Pikachu because I'm an old school boomer, but the last Pokemon game I genuinely played was Soul Silver on the DS because In my head, Pokemon ended with the second generation. I could barely tell you any Pokemon past those original 250. I don't know, it was on sale, and I thought, Pokemon's fun, let's buy the one that everybody dumps on because apparently it can't even run competently on the Switch. But it's open world, so that's something. It's got something going for it, and we're gonna play it, and we'll see how bad it is. Next on the list, it's a classic. It's a game I know I'm gonna love because it's Yakuza 5. I am still working my way through the Yakuza franchise. I'm very excited for the Majima Pirate game that's coming out early 2025. I will probably finally get to play it in maybe 2028, if not later, because I still have a handful of Yakuza games left to get through. I'm trying to go through the series in order, and we're on number 5, so I'm going to play Yakuza 5 and have fun punching people as Kiryu and whoever else you play as, because I believe, like Yakuza 4, it is a multiple protagonist game, which is interesting. I did not like that in 4. I thought that the story was good, but the fact that they sort of reset your progress in the world and they all had their own side stories was I didn't really like that, because I'm not one to necessarily do all the side stories as they're presented. You get engaged in the story, you kind of play through it, and then you wait for a lull in the story. But because they had the 4 different playable characters, there never was a lull because each character's story was relatively short and focused. So I'll be interested to see how they iterated on that with Yakuza 5. And finally, the last game I want to play this year, in the year ahead, it is the one, the only, as of recording, Strand-type game, Death Stranding. Another one of those games that have been very divisive when you look at the online discussion. Is it good? Is it bad? Is Hideo Kojima a genius? Is he a psycho? Is he insane? Is he all of the above? Do you drink Monster Energy, right? I think they drink Monster Energy in the game. I'm interested to try it out. It is definitely something that is unique. Whether it's good or bad, I enjoy games that try to do something different, that try to set out in their own kind of way. And from what I understand, that is definitely Death Stranding. So I am excited to experience it, to see what it's all about. I am not really the biggest Hideo Kojima fan. I'm not a stealth gamer, so I've never played the Metal Gear games, so I don't really have any brand loyalty, so to speak, and this will really be my first experience with his style of storytelling. I know he tells kind of crazy stories with long cutscenes, so it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to experiencing it and checking it out. Whew, well that is it. That's my list of games that I want to play in 2025. My focused, concise backlog that I am committing to get through as best as I can. Like I said, this doesn't include games that are coming out in 2025, so I might take some breaks from these to play other games, but these are the games I want to try and go through. These are the games I want to try and make videos on in the year ahead. What do you think of this list? Is this a good list? Let me know in the comments down below. What are some games you are looking forward to playing in 2025, whether they be new releases or games on your backlog that you finally want to get through? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you all with the next video.